This video is sponsored by Supernote. This is the Supernote Nomad, an e-ink device that has completely changed the way I take notes. But as a designer, I got to thinking, how would it hold up as an artistic tool? And that's what we're going to get into in this video. If you're looking for something a little bit deeper, I would recommend going to Camshand or My Deep Guides reviews. Both of them are phenomenal and links to those videos are in the description below. For on-the-fly sketching, it's really hard to beat an e-ink device. They give you the look and feel of physical mediums, great battery life, and a compact form factor that can easily be taken anywhere on the go. I'm the type of person that prefers to be able to explore creatively wherever inspiration strikes with as little equipment to carry around as possible. This device gets a 10 out of 10 for that alone. Compared to other e-ink devices I've owned in the past, the Nomad drained battery quite a bit faster, but I imagine that's because it was doing much more day-to-day than my other devices did. But since the device charges quickly, I didn't notice it that much. The Nomad has a 7.8-inch screen that feels somewhat small for sketching on. I often found myself having to zoom the canvas in or out quite a bit depending on what I was trying to achieve. For scale, here it is compared to a standard sheet of 8.5 by 11 printing paper. Just like any creative tool, it takes some getting used to, but once I did, it felt great. The display is very accurate and pen strokes have virtually no delay. It doesn't feel exactly like drawing on paper, but also not like you're drawing on a glass display. It provides some sort of in-between that isn't distracting or uncomfortable. That's because the Nomad comes with a film on the screen that they call Feel Right 2, which gives the surface a bit of texture, helping it feel more natural. And it actually works great. I've seen other reviewers saying it was too rough at first and they had to break it in before it felt right for them, but for me, out of the box, it felt really nice. The Nomad uses a proprietary creative software called Atelier for everything art related. At the time of this recording, you can't install other third-party creative software onto the device. This is your only option, and it's somewhat limited compared to other free design software like Krita. It comes with a variety of pencils, ink pens, simple markers, and sprays. The color range you get is monochromatic between pure hex code white to pure hex code black. There are also several erasers giving you options for sculpting your work subtractively, and Atelier also has a multi-layer functionality enabling you to separate your line art from shading and other details, giving you freedom to separate as many layers as you'd like. Now here's the catch. The Nomad does come with 4 GB of soldered on non-expandable RAM, and while you may think this is more than enough for such a small low process device, once you get up there in layers and details on a sketch, I've definitely felt the system start to chug a bit. Zooming in or repositioning certain elements in a heavier sketch can be slow and definitely hinders the creative process. One of the great aspects of Supernote's open source platform is that Atelier allows exporting files to PNG with either full transparency or a white background applied. And it's at this stage, unfortunately, that you see maybe the worst aspect of using an e-ink device as an artistic tool. All of your sketches will have this low-res, almost pointillistic look to them when you zoom in closely. Because of the physics of e-ink displays, there's just no way around this. And unless you're specifically looking for this kind of stylized look, most of your sketches will need to be converted into digital. In other words, most creatives won't consider these to be the final form of their works. That being said, I'm not personally too flustered by this because I would primarily be using the Nomad for ease of use sketching on the go. In other words, to quickly get ideas down on paper, if you will, and practice my craft. So as you consider if this device is for you, I would encourage you to factor that important aspect into the buying process. Some gripes I had: I wish there was a way to choose the radius of your brush more precisely than the preset steps in Atelier. I found myself frustrated many times trying to get the exact right size I was looking for in a particular piece. Also, for some reason, undo and redo gestures just don't work in Atelier. That could probably be a simple fix in a future update, but it was these little annoyances that made using the software less enjoyable in my experience. Finally, none of the pens for sale by Supernote offer pen tilt, but they are pressure sensitive, allowing you to get some precise strokes. The device itself costs $299 before taxes, but that doesn't come with a pen. So with a decent creative focus pen that costs about $70, you're looking at closer to $400 after shipping and taxes for a device that can only handle monochromatic painting. For comparison, an excellent set of Graphwood graphite pencils and a Canson sketchbook, which will give you a very similar look, if not better, will end up costing you about $40 depending on where you buy. Also, for $310, you could just get a pen display device in the Wacom 112. That comes with the brand trust of Wacom, much greater software compatibility, and can handle color. The downside to this option, of course, is that you need a PC and your choice of software to run it. If you're missing any of these elements, then the price will go up considerably. The point is that there's a lot more economical routes you could take if you want to sketch on the go. But keeping all of that in mind, I can't deny I've still fallen in love with this device. Nowadays, devices are trying to solve as many problems as possible, giving users more and more tools with each iteration. And while that has its benefits, sometimes, especially in creativity, it's better to limit the amount of tools at your disposal so you can better focus on the essence of what you're creating. Less is more. For someone looking for a digital sketching tool by itself, I can't confidently recommend this device. it just has a long way to go in terms of hardware and software limitations before I can. But if you're the type of person that also enjoys writing and reading, preferably someone who is accustomed to e-ink devices like the Kindle, then I could not recommend this device more. The open source feel of the Supernote and all of its features as a complete package is phenomenal, and I've highly enjoyed daily driving it.